All right, we're good to go. Okay, guys. So I've had a lot of questions recently on kind of like putting yourself out there on Facebook and connecting with people, which I know Becky and Kelly, I don't know, do you struggle with that at all? You do? Okay. So basically, I'm trying to think. I have all these notes and I didn't really organize as well as I normally do. So let's start with connecting with people. So connecting with people is not always like, I'm going to call it a God-given gift, because some people really like it's an acquired skill to connect with people. Like, I worked retail for years. I have no fear of talking to anyone. Like, my husband teases me because I'll talk to some random person in the grocery store as I'm shopping just because they're there. Like, I have no problem talking to people, whereas it's like definitely acquired skill for some people. Like, my husband definitely is more reserved and doesn't like to talk to people as much.
See, I can talk to people. That's not where I struggle, because I can do the same. I can talk to the homeless. It doesn't matter to me who it is. My thing is, I've never been someone to share my stuff out there.
Yeah.
And then to share my stuff, like just for me to put a picture of myself on Facebook is like, I just don't do.
Well, and that's like, so that's kind of what we're going to talk about, because people are going to come to us as Beachbody coaches because we're us, right? And like, I think a huge part about becoming successful in Beachbody is building that confidence. Like, once you get that confidence, and like, Kelly, you're beautiful. Like, once you realize that you're beautiful, you'll post picture. You know what I mean? Like, really though, when you feel good, you want everyone to know you feel good, right? Like I made chocolate brownies tonight. I want everyone to know that I made these delicious chocolate brownies, and they're actually like semi-healthy. Like, they have no sugar in them, so that would be semi-healthy, right? Oh, that's the ingredient. I forgot. They do have maple syrup in them. Anyway, like real maple syrup. So, connecting with people is an acquired skill. Like, we have to get over that lump of like, I'm scared. Like, I don't want people to see me on Facebook. Like, I don't want people to see what I look like. Like, honestly, lately I'm struggling because I'm pregnant. So my face is swollen. My knees are swollen. My hands are swollen. Like, I feel like I look huge. I really don't. Like, in all honesty, I look fine. I still can button up my size 8 jeans. I can still wear my size 6 jeans with a rubber band. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I look fine, but it's nerve-wracking sometimes to kind of share our lives with people. And really, our lives is what help us connect with people. So, why do we choose the people we connect with? Is it because of, well, here's just a list of things where like people would choose to connect with you, right? Because they know you from a job, they're your friend, they're your family member, like they've known you for a while. They connect with you because of your insights on Facebook. Say you post, like my husband posts a ton of articles, like news articles, and he has thousands of people just like watching him, or like he'll have a bunch of people, not thousands, but you know, like for not really running a Facebook business, people follow him because he's constantly talking about political things. So insights, like we're Beachbody coaches. People will follow us based on what we're posting on Facebook, insights, tips. They follow us because of our success. Like, that's why little wins are so important. Like, people follow you because they find you're inspiring. Like, if you're being successful and sharing that, people are going to follow you. They'll connect with you.
Interject for just a second?
Go
This is
ahead.
really a little bit off topic, but I wanted to mention, so on your Facebook posts, when you go to post it, you can choose whether you post it to your friends or public or to certain people. When possible, or like when you feel like comfortable, like if it's something inspiring that you don't mind sharing with the world, make it a public post. I know some people want to keep posts of like their kids and stuff like private, which is totally fine. And but I just wanted to mention, like, I put a lot of my posts as public, and you have followers that aren't maybe necessarily following you because you have a mutual friend with someone that maybe constantly likes your posts, and so they're always seeing you in their newsfeed, whether you're friends or with them or not. I had my mom was talking to me the other day, and she's like, so-and-so from my ward, so she's like a friend from church, my mom's friend from church, was like talking to my mom and was like, you want to know my favorite thing about Facebook? And my mom was like, what? And she's like, what? Seeing your daughter's posts, I love them. And and my mom was like, you're friends with Becky on Facebook? And she's like, no, I don't know her. I just always see her posts come up in my feed. And so I just wanted to do a quick shout out that your posts are going to be inspiring. And if you feel like it's something that you don't mind sharing with the world, make it a public post.
And tag, like, if you don't want it to be public, but like, say your spouse or like you have someone that you're okay with, like their friends seeing things, tag them in it. Like if it's not something that you want to be a public post, because as many people as you can see looking at you, it's going to help people to connect with you. That's great. Like, I totally didn't think about that, Becky. Like, most of my posts.
Yeah, no, I just was like, I just had it on my mind because I was like, yeah, you don't realize who is like following your journey all the time, because they might not be your friend and they might not even be counted as like a follower. They just, when you have friends that are constantly liking your stuff, then other people are going to see it. So,
well, and as Beachbody coaches, we want to connect with people. Like, we want to make new connections. You're going to run out of friends eventually. Like, I may have 1,600 friends, but I'm going to run out of friends eventually. Does that make sense? You will too. Like, we need to find ways to connect with people. People are going to connect with you based on your abilities. Like, what kind of stuff sets you apart from someone else? Like, we have a farm, so we're always having these bum animals. Like, there's bum lambs running around in my yard, sleeping with my dog right now. Like, so people will connect with me in different ways like that. Like, there's always something special about each of us that people will connect with us about. Like, Kenna posts about being a teacher, and like her boyfriend who like is like huge compared to you, by the way, speaking of stalking you on Facebook yesterday, like being gone, you know what I mean? Like, people are connect with her because she's basically like single woman part of the time because he's out of town. People are going to connect with you based on your self-confidence. Like, I honestly get more people talking to me outside of the Facebook realm because they're like, oh my goodness, I saw your post on Facebook. Like, you're so happy, and look, you're so happy in real life. Like, our self-confidence radiates, and people like, they like that. Like, you want to associate with people that are happy and uplifting, right? Like, how many of us like want to find friends that just lift us up and make us feel good all the time? Like, self-confidence, humor. Are you hilarious? Like, personally, I think I'm hilarious, but only in real life, not on Facebook. But really, I could be, yeah. Lincoln laughs at me. I'm good. Anyway, but like, are you funny? Do you post jokes? Like, your humor, like, also preparation. Like, do you take time to make your posts? Like, I mean, I post stuff from the day before always because it's just easier for me. Like, then I can go through things and decide which things I feel like would get the most reach. But like, well, sometimes I get behind. But preparation, like, are you taking time to like think through your posts? Like, and then also preparation, like, are you starting events for your challenges? Like, are you trying to get people involved that way? Like, people will notice those type of things. Like, on your events, are you sharing like challenge pages? People are going to notice that. And then trustworthiness. Like, if you say something, are you following through? Like, are you making sure that you're doing everything that you say you're going to do? People like trustworthy people, and they will follow you for all of those things. Like, they'll connect with you for all of those things. Also, believe in yourself. Like, I know that some of us are new coaches. Some of us have been coaches for a while. Some of us were discount coaches and just decided to start the business. Like, but each of us needs to believe in ourselves, because I know that every single one of you can be a successful Beachbody coach if you want to be. Like, I know that I can be a successful Beachbody coach if I put the time in and if I want to be. One of my favorite quotes is from L. Tom Perry. I'm LDS, and he's a leader in our church. And he says, you are not competing with anyone else. You are only competing with yourself to do the best with whatever you have received. And I think with this business, that's so true. Like, really, we're not competing against each other to get customers. Like, we're just trying to be the best selves that we can so that people will come and they'll want to follow us. Like, that's what's super awesome about our job. Like, we're not competing with each other. We're trying to help people to be better while bettering ourselves. Also, like, another thing on that, like, you need to be helping, like, if you have a team, help your team get customers, like, help your team learn these things, share your team calls, get them on team calls. Like, if you're not comfortable to do a team call yourself, like, get people involved. Okay, let me think. This is all connecting with people. I feel like this is all related with each other. So if you don't, I mean, you can add something in. Also, when you find customers or when you're talking to people, make it all about them. Like, make it about them. Ask them questions about them. Like, don't even bring up Beachbody at first. Like, if they make a post, comment on your post, like they want to buy a challenge pack, ask them questions like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I saw that you commented on this. Like, what are your fitness goals? What have you tried? Do you like working out with weights? Do you like running? What are some other ones? Are you like a health nut? Do you like healthy food? Are you more like a total sweet tooth? Do you like sugar? What's your job? How many kids do you have? Are you married? Is your spouse super supportive? Like, ask them all these questions, because not only is it going to help them realize that you really are in it to help them, but it's also going to help you get to know them and know what challenge pack, like, say they're super into cardio, like they love cardio exercises. They don't like using weights. They like body weight exercises. They work a job and they have 2 kids, so they don't really have a whole lot of time to work out. Like, what kind of challenge pack would you sell them? I would say something like probably Insanity Max 30 or P90X3, where it's more of a, I mean, P90X3 says in it that it's like cardio training. You know what I mean? And Insanity Max 30 is all cardio. Maybe Pio if they want something a little less intense, but like
T25.
Or T25. I've never done T25. Thanks for that shout out, Becky. I didn't even
First one I did.
I know. I should have thought of that. Anyway, but it's going to help you get to know them. And then if they say no, you're not leaving on, oh, well, you didn't buy a challenge pack. You can go back and say, hey, like, how are your kids doing? Like, how's the job? Are you still working here? Like, there's something for you to go back on. And studies have shown it takes 7 times talking to someone before they're actually going to say yes. And I can attest that that has totally been my business since day one. Like, it's never just like buy a challenge pack. Like, a lot of people say they're going to, but then I have to go back and talk to them a billion other times before they do. So when we're making and building relationships instead of just selling things, people are going to connect with us more. Like, they're going to say, yeah, Kelly is an awesome Beachbody coach. She didn't just like try to sell me a challenge pack. Like, in fact, she's been talking to me for like the last 6 weeks just about life. Like, you know, or Kimberly posts some awesome stuff on her Facebook page about like being a mom and working at home. Like, and she's talked to me about it a few times, and I've always wanted to stay home with my kids. And like, I really think that I want to be a coach because look at her. She stays home with her kids and she's making money and she's doing all this stuff. Like, so that's how you're going to connect with people. Like I said on last week's call, do the CCA, comment, compliment, and act. When you're scrolling through your newsfeed, it's not that hard to say things on their thing, like comment, compliment them, ask them a question, like, then message them about it later. Like, hey, we were talking about this on this post. Like, it opens the door for people to converse with you, for conversation. Also, when you are talking to people, like, this sounds really bad. It can be draining some days because you're going to get people who are like in terrible situations, who are talking to you about like depressing things. Like, I have this one girl, she wants to order a challenge pack. Her name is Sarah, and she's struggling. Her dad just died. Like, she is struggling. And so people like that are like, she's not only struggling with her weight, she's struggling emotionally. Like, say inspiring things to these people. Like, we're here to not only help people with their health goals and their fitness goals, we're here to lift people up. And when you're inspiring with people, like when you're trying to help people, you really will you'll find joy in doing that. When you're serving others, you're going to find joy in serving them, whether they're buying a challenge pack or not, whether you're just kind of inspiring them. They'll get there eventually. They may not at first, but they'll get there eventually. But it's also super important that you are doing your 3 vital behaviors and filling your bucket so that you have inspiring things to say, so that you don't just say, they're not going to buy a challenge pack, I'm done. Like, I just really need the money right now. Like, so you really are, you're wanting you're wanting to help them. Like, you're in it for them. You're not just in it for you and the money. Like, you're in it for them. And once that kind of changes, I feel like my business boomed once it went from like trying to make money all the time to just, hey, like, I really want to help people out. Also, when you're posting, you kind of want to have an idea of your ideal candidate. Like, I know that sounds really bad, but like, maybe write stuff down on what you want your target market to be. Like, are you good with already active people? Like, are you already active as a Beachbody coach? Do you want people that are already active? Do you want moms that stay home with their kids? Do you want couples? Like, Becky reaches out to couples all the time. Like, what's the people you want to reach out to? Are you looking for like women with confidence issues that just like, whether they're big or small, they're not confident with themselves? Kind of write down something and like be specific with your ideal market. When you are specific about it, when you do find that why, when you do have that fire, it's going to help you post better. And then have a strategy with your posts. Like, every Saturday, are you going to do a call to action? Every Friday, are you going to follow up with people? Like, on Mondays, are you going to do something motivational or say something motivational? Workout Wednesday, like, are you going to talk about different workout ideas on Wednesdays? Like, write down a schedule if that's going to help you be consistent in posting all the time. Also, throughout the month, pick times for yourself. Like, week 1 and 2, what are you going to do? Are you going to work on hitting Success Club 5? Are you going to work on setting up a free challenge group? Are you going to work on setting events for the challenge group for the next group? Weeks 3 and 4, are you going to work on just getting coaches? Are you working on Success Club 10? Like, what do you want to do every month, and try to hit those every month? Because if you kind of have a schedule, it's easier to make things. I mean, like, let's be honest, how many of us do way better when we say, I'm going to wake up at this time in the morning and work out, and then we're going to have lunch this time? Maybe because I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old that I'm like, okay, well, nap time is this time. Like, we kind of schedule out our day more, but it really helps me as well. And that's why Power Hour checklists and everything are so vitally important to this business, because they're going to help you organize yourself and keep track of things and follow up. And they're going to help you manage your time to where you actually are going to get the most out of your time. Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I started a like page, right?
Right.
And I've been posting from that for, and I did an ad about a challenge group I got coming up. Now that I have people have just been putting in there that they want in, how do I, so they have to go and add me as a friend, correct?
Into your challenge group? Yeah, you're going to have to, I wouldn't have them add you as a friend. I would go add them as a friend. I would seek them out and then add them to your event or your challenge group. Just because a lot of people forget. I'm not saying that everyone does. A lot of people can forget. And they don't have the time. But if they're wanting into you're saying you set up a like page and you had.
So what I've done is I've boosted an ad about a 7-day free challenge for people that are.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So when they want in to something like that, to your challenge, you go and add them as a friend, because they're going to have to be friends with you in order for you to add them as into the group to begin with. And maybe like shout out like something like, okay, add me as a friend, try to go add them first, and I'll get you added into the group. Because we need that in order for you to be involved in the group. Yeah, that's great. That's super great. So your promotion did really well for you? I mean, so far it's doing well for you?
Yeah, it is. And it's also, I did a $5 worth of an ad to get people to like my like page.
Uh-huh.
And I got, I think right now, and I mean, $5, that's not much, right? And I think I've got 43 people liking it now.
That's awesome.
Like outside of my friends. And then I did this group, and I spent $6 on that one, and I believe I've got 8 people that said they want in, but I've also got another 13 people, I think, that have liked it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Do I do
so maybe
that?
Add the people that liked it as well.
Okay, that's what I was
message and then message them and say, hey, like, I saw you liked this event that I'm running. I would love to have you there. Like, are you going to do a prize or something at the end?
Yeah.
yeah, so like maybe mention that, like I'm giving away something at the end, like, because if you had 20 people in your free challenge group, like that's great. That's super awesome. So yeah, I would throw out that they need to add you, but I also would kind of make the effort to add them yourself just so that they kind of see that one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that they get that.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So another thing, where were we at? That's super awesome. I don't remember where I was at. Okay, I have two more things on here and tell me if I already said this. So when you're sharing on Facebook, when you talk, like when we're talking about making a schedule, sharing on Facebook, deciding like what we're going to hit each month, like kind of look at your goals. Like, well, sorry. So when you're sharing with other people, this is what I'm talking about. So when you get people commenting on your posts, when you're like talking to people, when you are using the CCA and finding people, like some people are going to write things on their Facebook like they want to be home with their kids or they want to lose weight. And those are like the type of people that you really want to screenshot and make sure that you are talking to. But like, say they want to stay home with their kids, like message them and ask them questions. Always start with a question like we talked about before. We kind of already went over that. Also, don't get tied up if the answer is a no. Like, I know I've said this like 1,000 times. If they say no the first time, that's okay. Like, still be their friend. Like, still talk to them because most of the time, if they've reached out and if they've thought about it once, like eventually they're going to come back and they're looking at you, they're watching you, and they're seeing those things. If you are just a new beginner coach, just some ideas of like messaging people, like ask them, like ask your friends, say, hey, like I just became a Beachbody coach. If you're comfortable with this, say, I really would like to get started with some testimonials. Like I'm working on my own body. Like, would you like to join me in a challenge to work on yours? And this is like super close friends to do that kind of stuff too. Like friends that you know aren't gonna, I know that sounds really bad, but like otherwise I'd start with something like, hey, really random, but like I know that you and your husband are close. Like, do you want to join us for a next couples challenge? Or does that make sense? But like find people to join you. Like get your friends and your family to join you on the journey. Like Kimberly, how happy are you that Becky like got you started with Insanity Max 30? Like, let's be honest here. Changing people's lives is a great business to be in. And that's really what we do. And it really is an affordable way to do it. Anyway, that's all I had for tonight. Do you guys have any questions? Is there anything you guys want to hear on team call for next week?
I had a couple of things to add, I guess. Just
Becky, that's awesome. Add away.
Okay, I had a few things in my mind. Let me think about what I was going to say. Oh yeah. As far as connecting with people goes, I just wanted to mention, like, I don't know, someone in the business building group today, I don't remember who it was now, but they were saying like how, like, do you really have to go and get all these new customers every single month to hit Success Club every single month? And yes, you do. And you just have to realize that your efforts that you put in every single day, like when it is a no, it's not a wasted effort. And all those people that you're planting seeds with, as they continue to see your journey, they're going to be more and more inspired, and all that effort that you've put in previous months is going to help in future months. So don't get discouraged if it's really hard to get your first challenge pack or your second challenge pack or your third challenge pack. The beginning is definitely, I feel like, very discouraging, because when you start as a coach, like, people aren't just going to want to come to you and spend $140 to do whatever you're doing, unless they are super close to you and you have developed a really good relationship with them. And so as you're putting in these seeds, as you're putting in the work every single day that you're doing your job, that is going to catch back up to you. So don't worry too much about future months. Just worry about the day-to-day effort that you're putting into it. don't let the future of the business be daunting to you. Because like Kelsey said earlier in the call, we all have like the potential to be incredible, amazing Beachbody coaches, but it all comes down to consistency. I mean, I've made the decision to kind of not put in the daily effort, I guess, as far as like reaching out to people. And I know that that's not going to help my business, but I know that from my experience, I was a successful Beachbody coach. I am a successful Beachbody coach because of the daily consistency, and just continually reaching out to people, new people, old people, and then they come back to me, and that's where a lot of my challenge pack sales have come from. And then there's a ton of people that, as you just continue to be consistent, I know that sometimes it's hard to be consistent if you're not seeing a return on your investment right away. It can be really difficult in the beginning, but people are watching you, and I can promise you that maybe some of these people are going to watch you for a month or 2 months or 3 months. I've been running this business since last June, and like yesterday randomly somebody messages me and like they're like, hey, so I've been watching your journey for the last like however many months, and I just am really inspired, and my husband and I want to join your next couples challenge. I've never once reached out to her. I haven't talked to her since we were in high school together. Like I don't know her like hardly at all. And she reached out to me because she had been watching my journey, and I feel like the whole connecting with people and developing relationships with people and all that good stuff just comes with consistency, and it will get easier. And I guess I just want to emphasize that the efforts that you're putting in, especially in the beginning when you aren't getting a whole lot of reward, if this is something that you want, just keep going with it. Keep being consistent, because you will get rewarded later. I promise. Some people, it takes maybe a little bit longer than others, but people are watching you. You are inspiring people. So.
Well, and it took me a little longer than it took Becky. And I mean, we signed up the same time. I didn't start the same time. But like, remember that this business honestly takes 30 to 90 days to get a decent customer base. Like, I'm not like.
Well, even then
it takes a few months for them to like look and like notice and find you trustworthy enough that you're starting your fitness journey. Like if you've been posting about fitness like your whole life and now you're like doing this new thing with fitness, that's one thing. But like, I mean, those of us who haven't, like, it takes a bit.
Yeah. And when it all comes down to it, Beachbody is a direct sales company. So sometimes people will see that you signed up as a Beachbody coach and they'll think that you're just doing it for the money. You have to prove those people wrong, showing that you're doing it for yourself and that you're doing it to help other people and that you're going to be doing it consistently. Beachbody is not like other direct sales companies. You're not selling, makeup. You're not selling candle wax. You're not selling, a magic pill that you're just going to let people, just sell something and take their money. You're a coach because you want to help people, and you're a coach because you want to help yourself. And so, like, I don't know, this company offers a lot of, like, I feel like platform for you to develop those relationships and to inspire people. So just take it. And Chelsea was saying, like, that she tries to tell people now, like, when they sign up as a coach, to give it, like, if you truly want to be successful as a coach, you've got to give it a year. Like, if that means you're spending $15 a month to be a coach for a year, she says that you've got to give it a year, because then that's when everything really starts to click. And so, I mean, not that it can't click before or whatever, but she just tells people, like, if you are being consistent for a year, there's like no, like, you will be successful, So,
and people will see that too. Like, they'll watch you and see that you, like, for a year's worth of time, you've been still doing this. Like, you haven't jumped off the bandwagon yet. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's like what Chelsea was also saying. I know she said it a few times. She's like, people want to see you fail as a I mean, like,
yeah, they do. Like, they want to see you, like, jump off the bandwagon.
Because, like I say, I mean, like, there's no way to get around the fact that it is direct sales, and people have a mentality, like a stereotype about direct sales sometimes. At least that's what I've come across, or maybe that's just something that I had in my mind also. But but like the fact that you can work from home almost and choose your own hours and have an unlimited income just seems crazy to people. And it seems kind of scammy, you know, that it could, you know, potentially, I don't know, just be something that they get sucked into and don't want to be in, you know. It almost seems like a cult. But you just got to show that it's truly just eating healthy, working out, being inspiring, and being consistent. So I don't know.
That's awesome.
Good question really quickly, and this is kind of relating to what you said, Becky, and maybe Kelsey, when you asked like what do we want to talk about in a future call? This is probably a future call, but I would like to maybe talk about sometime how you support people as a coach after they have become your customer, maybe in other ways besides running a challenge group. So maybe somebody that's purchased something from you, like.
I have a couple people that are customers of mine that, like, for instance, don't have Facebook, or they do have Facebook and it's not their jam, you know. And so for a long time, well, I still do. I put a little like reminder in my phone that says like that comes up every once a week, and it'll come up with the person's name. And so, for instance, I have one girl, her name's Sarah. She doesn't have Facebook, or she has Facebook, but she just doesn't use it. But she bought a challenge pack for me. And once a week, her name would pop up on my phone, and I would just send her a text message and just say, hey, how are things going? How are you doing? And I try to, like, I know that she's not maybe always wanting to hear from me only for Beachbody. So I try to, like, you know, ask her how things are going, see if she wants to meet up for lunch, you know, just different things about whatever. But just having that, if you have like people that you're maybe not wanting in a challenge group all the time, or that you're wanting to support, one thing that I do that you don't have to do, but just one idea is that you could just, like I say, just put their name as a reminder in your phone, so that they're constantly like coming up to your mind. You can just check in on them, see how they're doing.
See, and I go through once a month, I go through all my customers on my back office and I message them. I message my monthly challenge customers like once a week. So, and then I have a few that like don't go into challenges that I message on Friday, my follow-up Friday. I think Becky's right. Like, make sure you're just maintaining relationships with them. They will, like, so I have one girl, her name is Melissa, and she's not on Facebook much. And I message her, I text message her probably bi-weekly or whatever. Anyway, and she's bought, so she was like my very first customer, and she's bought 3 different programs from me just because like I'm constantly checking up with her and like seeing how she's doing. And she plateaus really easy and she struggles. But yeah, I think just following up with your customers is just as important as following up with your like people that you're messaging about buying challenge packs, because they're going to tell people about how you are as a coach. So you want to make sure that you're talking to them, like, and whether that's once a month, whether that's once a week, whether that's bi-weekly, like that's something that you can decide. But yeah.
And if there are people that were in a previous challenge group that maybe are active on Facebook, but they aren't in a current challenge group, or maybe just not wanting to do a program right now or whatever. I know a lot of coaches that create like I guess like a customer group, or like, I don't know. And so they'll just put all of their customers in one group, and they'll post in it every couple days or whatever. Maybe it's not like a daily thing. It's not like running a challenge group, but just maybe posting something motivational, or I don't know.
It's going to cut us off in like 10 seconds. So we can jump on a new call if you guys want, or whatever works.
Does that answer your question, Kim? Or do you
No, that was good. Thanks.
Perfect. Right. You guys are awesome. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Becky. You're great. Great insight, as always.